Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.
Well, despite having reached the midway point of the regular season for high school fall football, Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is going to do the switcheroo and a change of pace as we move indoors onto the hardwood. As you can see, for tonight's telecast, high school girls volleyball as the Sheldon Huskies play host to the invading Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack. Good evening and welcome to Husky Gym, along with the esteemed head coach of the Sierra College women's volleyball team, Vera Nelson. I'm Will James. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Tonight we have a match that on the surface might seem a little one-sided, but that, of course, has yet to be determined. Vera, the visitors come in with an outstanding 17-5 record under head coach Lisa Folks. They've been rolling and have been for the past several years, but it's a different story on the other side where Sheldon and head coach, first year head coach Robert Rhodes is in a rebuilding situation.
Yeah, and CO has a lot of seniors that are playing. They're captains on the team, a lot of experience. Don't know a lot about Sheldon, but you never know. Volleyball's a game of whoever's got the hot hand.
Well, let's take a look and see who had the hot hand the last two times. I should say the last time these teams squared off. It was about a year ago, and based on how they were going at the time, Vera, as expected, the Wolfpack came out on top rather handily.
Yeah, it looks like Kelly Rocks had 14 kills, a lot of service aces, which tells me Sheldon might not be a very good passing team, which is tough. That's one of the most important things in volleyball to be able to do successfully.
And it was a successful evening, 3 straight and out to register that win. Now, the last outings for these two teams have been similar, you could say, although Cosumnes Oaks was a lot busier this past weekend.
Yeah, playing in that tournament, definitely. A lot more experience again. I think Sheldon is just coming in. He's starting a new program, you know, not having the experience of playing those top teams. But again, you never know.
After taking hard losses to St. Francis and Pleasant Valley of Chico, Coach Folks' Wolfpack did a wonderful showing up in El Dorado Hills at the Christine Craft tournament there at Oak Ridge and took 5 out of 6, falling only to Presentation High School.
Yeah, that's a good tournament. Good quality teams at that tournament.
Well, the impact players are going to have to step it up, especially for the visitors. On the road, that's always even more essential. And for Cosumnes Oaks and Coach Folks, the Wiley Wolves are going to have to hold the fort.
Yeah, and again, you can see senior heavy. I think all of these girls are also captains, which means they're leaders on the team. So I think they have quite a bit of experience and, a very quality team.
Well, that's the way it's going to shake out as we continue to set the table here this evening on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Don't wander off. When we return from this short break, we'll join our other esteemed colleague, Lauren Goodman, who has lots more on tonight's big matchup. Stay with us. All right.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Show. There it is. Thank you so very much. Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week tonight, originating from Sheldon High School, where this evening the host Huskies are going to take on the visiting Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack in a girls' volleyball match, Delta League style. Let's turn our attention down to floor level and join Lauren Goodman. Goody?
Well, tonight we have two coaches, two different backgrounds. One's a veteran in her game coming in, and the other is new. Delta has made a lot of changes as far as the coaches, but let's talk about the leaders as you guys have already laid out the players. Coming in for the visiting Wolfpack, we have Lisa Wolfs. She is in her 10th year, and she has a pretty split record right now since 2016. She kind of turned gears, going 94-40. Her best record came in 2017, where she went 31-11, and she's coming in with a playoff record of 7-4. Really seasoned and ready to lead the Wolfpack. On the other hand, we have first-year guy Robert Rhodes, who's 1-8, but he understands that he's taking on a tough challenge in this Delta, where there's heavy hitters every single week, but he's motivated to establish a winning program. If Sheldon can get some consistency in the coaching area, it may lead to a bright future. Now, tonight makes the 6th meeting between these two teams, and it's been a series of streaks. Sheldon came out, took the first 2 of the 3 matches, 3-2 in both of those, and the Wolfpack have won the last 2, 3-0. Cosumnes Oaks leads this series 3-2. That's what's shaking down here on the court. Will.
Thank you very much, Goody. What's shaking down on the court also includes 2 ball clubs that on the surface are approaching this match from different directions, you could say, Vera. Certainly the veteran team under veteran head coach Lisa Folks, intact. It's a unit that's well rehearsed in all regards, while head coach Robert Rhodes has taken on a very daunting task. He coaches all 3 levels, Frosh, JV, varsity, and trying to elevate a program that has had victory come in the most difficult way over the last decade.
Yeah, well, it's gonna take them some time. It's pretty tough to coach all 3, but hopefully he can get some help. I mean, it took, it takes time. It takes time to build a program, but you got to keep working and keep getting girls that are going to get better.
Well, it's going to be a task that is going to include everyone's effort, not just the players under head coach Robert Rhodes, but patience is going to be a virtue that may be difficult to grasp, but essential as far as the future standing of this Sheldon High School girls volleyball program. a school that's traditionally been very strong in most other team sports.
Yes.
And, you know, for a long drought like Sheldon has sustained, it's a mystery to me, and possibly an unexplainable drought, you might say, where victory has been so difficult to achieve. But they might have the right person installed here in Coach Rhodes to flip this thing around.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Stay with us. We're going to come back after this break and continue our pre-match chat here on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
Not much to say.
Oh, emojis! I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you!
She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand.
Ah, there you go.
Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
Husky Gym, the site, as you see here at Sheldon High School, not far off, a Delta League girls volleyball confrontation. The host Huskies circling the wagons and ready to do battle with the visiting Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack. And this Delta League has got some heavy obstacles for any of the members of this conference, and we see here by the standings, St. Francis still is the team to beat, still at the top of the mountain, and Coach Wright is, despite all of her tremendous success over 20, 30 years, this is her finest start ever, Vera, at 24-0.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to beat. She's had some very good teams. You know, this could be her best team, or it could be that the competition is maybe not as high as normally. I don't know. I haven't seen all these teams play yet, but I'm interested to watch Pleasant Grove as well as Cosumnes Oaks, see how those two teams, top three teams, are doing. So it'll be great to see CO play tonight and compare that to St. Francis.
You can see that the top half of the standings and the bottom are distinctly different. It's pretty clear where the separation is, and Davis is kind of a sleeper there. They could take somebody if any of those teams play them short, but right now that top three is the trio that's going to try to fight it out, and St. Francis distinctly with the edge there.
Definitely.
Tonight, Sheldon could make a significant stroke in their illustration of beginning a winning tradition, you might say. They're standing at 1-8 right now on the season, but in both of the preceding games, the freshmen and the JVs gave Cosumnes Oaks a fight, and the freshman team won that thriller. So there are some indications here for Coach Robert Rose that the lower levels can, in fact, supply some necessary punch.
Absolutely, and hopefully they can just compete at least and gain some experience and keep getting better year to year.
Well, the NCOA has assigned 2 officials to monitor this match and keep things fair and square. Veteran John Morrisroe is our match referee, and it'll be Russell Birch, our umpire. Russell, also a veteran official in high school basketball around the region for many, many years. Though the crowd has been somewhat sparse, it's been very raucous and loud, beginning with the freshman game. they were knocking the walls down with the volume level in that, and it certainly helped their freshman team eke out that thrilling victory, coming from behind to do it. So I imagine it'll be the same measure of enthusiastic support. And maybe there is that underlying element now with the Sheldon girls volleyball program, that the people in the stands right now making all that noise really believe that this team can elevate in future years.
Well, we're going to find out here in about 2 minutes.
The Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack in their traditional orange with navy blue. Sheldon dressed in all black except their white numerals. As we mentioned earlier in the pregame, Cosumnes Oaks had a busy weekend on Saturday. They went up to El Dorado Hills at Oak Ridge to play in the Christine Craft tournament and had 6 matches on Saturday and won 5 of them, while Sheldon was idle over the weekend, so they should be fully rested and ready to give the visitors a real scrap tonight.
Yeah, I think those matches are 2 out of 3, so they're not as long, but still a lot of matches.
There's part of that front line you see there for Sheldon, and there's the counterparts on the other side.
Cosumnes Oaks definitely has a height advantage.
Well, particularly in the presence of Romani Cook, number 9.
Yeah, she's 6 foot, but she also is very physical and gets up very high when she's attacking and blocking.
Well, I don't have a confirmation, but she could even be on the Wolfpack basketball squad. Wait and see, but we're ready to roll, and Sheldon has first service. And we are underway here at Sheldon High School. Well, a nice little soft touch push wide of the defense. Let's take a look at the visitors tonight and their starting group. Berto, Bland, and Baines, the killer bees along that first row. Cook, Nerley, Poliquit, and Swain complete their starting group. Okay, 1-1.
It's a nice block. We'll see how disciplined Cosumnes Oaks is playing this team. If they play to the level or if they play to their level. It's tough to do.
Cook with a vicious smash, and I think she may have answered part of that question right there.
Yes, she did.
And I think some of that ferocity stems from the previous play at the net there on the block. 2-1, Cosumnes Oaks.
So Haley back to serve. Their setter, quarterback of the team.
Cook just in. And a 3-1 cushion now. Not a particularly tall group for either team, average size, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Out. 4-1. Coach Folks of Cosumnes Oaks puts tremendous amount of attention on the service game, both delivering and receiving, constantly practicing. And
well, volleyball games, no matter what level you're at, it's won and lost the serve and serve receive. Whoever wins the serve receive war will win the match. So being able to control that first pass is really important.
Well, after a 1-1 tie, 5 straight points rattled off by the visitors to take a 6-1 cushion now here. We're just underway from Sheldon High School. This is Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week with Vera Nelson, Sierra College women's volleyball coach. I'm Will James, and we'll be dialed into Lauren Goodman here and there for updates from the floor and key information that only Lauren Goodman can ascertain. 7-1. Well, the service is hitting that spot where there's an apparent hole in the defense consistently.
Yeah, that stat that we looked at earlier, you can see all the aces. You can see when the two teams are such different level playing field, you're going to see a lot more aces.
Cook keeps it in. There's a set. Nice dig.
Yeah, nice defense by Haley there.
So Sheldon back on the board after a 7-0 run, trimming it to 8-2 now. Well, Cook is power plus.
Yeah, not much of a block in front of her.
Well, she's going to sit down for a minute. A couple of substitutions by Coach Folks. And she's got a very reliable bench. Bailey Hoblitzel in on that front line for the Wolfpack.
Looks like she uses a lot of defensive specialists.
Well placed.
I think they called a net on the setter.
Okay, they sure enough did. So point to Sheldon. Huskies get the rock back and will do service in the person of Venus Alanib. Point to Cosumnes Oaks. That was a pretty nice net play there to keep that alive. Good shot of Cosumnes Oaks head coach Lisa Folks in her 10th year. Highly successful. Boy, these Wolfpack gunners are putting the ball in between consistently.
Yeah, Sheldon just looks a little bit out of sorts. Not quite sure where they should be on the court.
Now 12-3. Cosumnes Oaks at this point. Game one, full command. Time out taken by the hosts, Sheldon Huskies. Head coach Robert Rhodes, as you see there, with his Huskies around him, wants to talk things over as they trail it 12-3 early on. And as we thought, though the crowd attendance would be considered light, the enthusiasm is much heavier. And just gives me the idea that there's a little bit of spark here from all three levels, getting the idea that maybe they can push their way out of the deep hole they've been in for so long, and maybe there's some extra conviction for their new coach.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, developing those younger teams can change the program in the next couple years.
We'll keep an eye on that. There you see the Huskies listening intently. It must take a tremendous amount of patience and resiliency and tolerance to be in a position where it's certainly not going to be a quick fix or an immediate fix, and losses are going to come.
Yeah, well, you got to set different goals than wins and losses. You got to set small goals and you know, teach the girls it's not all about winning and losing until you have the pieces of the puzzle in place, and it takes time.
Off the net and down for point number 13, a 10-point cushion enjoyed at this point by the Wolfpack. I think we can call that type of growth measurable improvement.
Yes, definitely. Nice dig there. Haley's very good at defense.
Kept alive off the top of the net. All right, score that one for Sheldon. (13-4). Huskies trying to chip away and climb back into this game one, coming in as definite underdogs.
Nice big block there. Good defensive rotation there for Sheldon.
(13-5). First time Sheldon has had consecutive points. Trying to get on a little bit of roll here after falling to a 10-point deficit. Trying to come back.
Nice hustle there.
Just inside the back line. 13-6. 3 consecutive points.
Got a little spark there. Defense can do that sometimes.
And that's the type of spark that will rally crowd support as well. A little strong on that.
Oh, that just pops the balloon right there. That's a no-no.
It's a no-no. You got to put it in play.
Especially after a big play like that. Just changes the momentum back so easy.
And
well,
there's a favor that they returned.
Yeah.
Okay. 14-7. Service back to the Huskies. Too hot to handle. Off the arm of Ellie Lou. 14-8. Tightest it's been since the early going. Out.
Yeah, so many unforced errors by Sheldon. That could be one goal, is just, take care of your side of the ball, and that would make the game even closer than 15-8. Just take care of your side.
I'm sure Lisa Folks would agree with that. As you saw her along the front of the Wolfpack bench. They're back on the service now. How about that?
So she's back in for her 4th kill of the set. She had a career 28 kills earlier this season. That's quite a match. I'm not sure if it was a 5-setter. It didn't say, but 28 kills in 1 match is, but I can see they go to her often.
For the Sierra College Wolverines would have been some of the top kill totals over the years for you by an individual.
Well, in a 5-set match, 25's pretty good. At the NCAA level, 25 to 30 is probably really, really high. So
it's a lot.
I'm not sure 28, but again, depending on your competition, sometimes it's a little easier to rack up those kills than others. So
Tiffany Ng strong on the service. Point to Sheldon. The Huskies down 18-9. Showed a little spurt here after falling behind 13-3. Nice little string.
Yep. Again, like I said, if you set little goals, double digits, whatever it is, that you're playing a really good team, and you look at your success that way, gives your team a little more positive reinforcement. There's an ace.
A full swing and too strong. 19-10. Service back to the Wolfpack, up 9.
There you go. Nice swing there.
Split the defense and get the point. 19-11.
Nice pass.
Kept alive.
Oh, let her hit it.
Strong on the smash. Point to the Wolfpack. 20-11, Cosumnes Oaks.
Looks to me like Cosumnes Oaks could work a little bit on their ball handling skills and communication. They're going to try to take off St. Francis in the future. Got to tighten things up a little bit.
Yeah, against St. Francis, no rough edges.
No, won't have a chance. I think St. Francis has a little more firepower from more people.
Cook with the smash, unreturnable, 22-11. There's Coach Folks up along that Cosumnes Oaks bench, working that clipboard. Timeout on the floor for a minute. And we'll keep it right here with the idea that now what we've seen so far in this opening set, tendencies you've noticed about the host here, Sheldon, and besides some of the ball handling you spoke of.
They have a pretty good block. It's a couple rotations, and they play some feisty defense, but it just doesn't look like they're still really sure and confident on where they're supposed to be on the court. And you know, the coach might just be teaching them a new defense that they're not familiar with. But again, I think it looks more like inexperience, especially playing against a team that has the offense that they do.
A long road back, but it can be done one stride at a time. 22-11. Haley Berto with the service. A slam and a lot of net play, and a point goes to the Wolfpack. 23-11, closing in now on opening game victory here. Tough enough. Nice power smash there. Gia Baines.
Yeah, she's just a sophomore. I like how she gets up and makes herself available as a middle blocker.
Do you like the mechanics from Berto here in the service?
Yeah, I do. She's got a nice jump float serve. Plays solid defense. She's like a good leader on her team. And there we have it.
There we have it. Point to the Wolfpack, and 25-11 is how that'll go down for game one victory. Stay with us. We are going to, we're going to just hold it right here for a second because Lauren might have something for us. And I wanted to ask you, Vera, on a situation like this now where they got handled readily, are your pep talks strictly motivational, or do you go beyond that sometimes with your players if you think they need something stronger?
Well, if I had a young team, I mean, I don't know what he does, but if I had a young team, like I said again, I'm setting small goals. So, you know, statting their passing, statting their serving. Reminding them, to me, they have a lot of mechanical problems, so that's what I would be looking at, trying to help them. With CO, they got to tighten it up if they want to get better at the next level.
Well, let's toss our attention down to floor level. Lauren Goodman is standing by with one of our 2 head coaches. Goody?
You guys took that one easy, a little bit of challenge. What do you feel about your team in the first set?
I thought that they played fairly well. I think that we need to work on their communication and their talking and obviously their focus. I'm really excited to be on TV tonight. Yeah.
Any adjustments that you feel your team needs to make to just go ahead and put the icing on the cake?
I told them I want them to clean up their offense and just have a little bit better defense, like following the balls all the way to the line, just clean up those little details.
Thanks, Coach, for your time.
Thank you.
Will.
Thanks, Goody. Coach folks, paying attention to the little details, because I'm sure, Vera, you would agree that the little details, the collective little details, make the difference between victory and defeat.
Well, yeah, and you got to take these matches, again, not for the victory, but how are they going to get better? That's the best way to be the best coach. How are you going to get better every day? So.
And we saw Robert Rhodes over there, a couple of shots with his Huskies around him, and frankly, he doesn't look deterred, as you say, by the scoreboard or by what the eventual outcome may be. I think he's got his eyes on the big picture, what he was hired to do here, and it's not going to be overnight. So
yeah, he seems pretty even-keeled and continues to keep coaching his players, and that's what you're going to have to do at a, like you said, a young program.
Well, Coach Rhodes, if he can get that message to his players and they buy in to the process of what will get them there, they'll do fine.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sheldon High has generally been exceedingly strong in team sports, and even playing in the Delta League, they've fared very well. So that's a program that needs to and should rise. And hopefully Coach Rhodes is the one to jumpstart it and get it going.
Yep. We'll have to follow him along the next few years.
Okay, we move along. And after a decisive 25-11 victory, first set, now we move to number 2, and a couple substitutions I see starting this for Sheldon. But it will be Cosumnes Oaks to begin service, and they'll do so in the person of Ellen Nurley, one of the captains and veterans on this squad.
Oh, she didn't play the first set, right?
Did not.
Yeah. Okay, see what she can do. Oh yeah, she looks like she's a pretty regular. She had a career high 13 kills in a match earlier this year. So I was watching her in warm-ups. She's got a nice swing. We'll see how she is here in back row in her serve.
Okay, we are ready. Nurley opens play here in game 2. Out. So the Wolfpack claims point number 1, gets on top early.
Nice high swing off the block. Cook does a good job keeping
To what
the ball in play.
extent, Vera, on your service, do you have your servers going for specific designated areas where you think there may be a weak spot?
Yeah, we usually pick a target person. We scout our teams and we know who their weakest passers are. And if they're all pretty even, then we'll hit seams, hit in between, or hit corners. So if you're trying to take a middle out or an offensive person out of play, you'll serve to them short. So there's a lot of different strategies.
Sheldon on the board now, trailing just 2-1, but a poor serve low and into the net, and the serve goes over to Cosumnes Oaks. Now the Wolfpack up 3-1. Well, that's one of those in-between spaces.
Yeah, I'm not sure she meant to serve there, but I'm sure she's happy that it went in and landed and got the ace.
Aces are not always just about sheer velocity, as we see that ace in between.
That's a nice scene.
Placement is the other way.
Oh, absolutely. We work on placement and we work on speed.
Low, but dug nicely. That looked
nice
great.
Swing.
Well done, a badly needed point there as the Huskies draw closer at 5-2 and take over service. Cook. 6-2. Cook's been cooking all night so far.
That's her 8th kill. That's a lot of kills in a short match. Not a lot of rallies, so she pretty much finishes each one she gets the opportunity for. Free ball.
Nice touch, but well defended. Out. And looking at the Cosumnes Oaks squad and now taking service, Berto, I really like the way after service and when play's underway, the way she positions her arms and hands in readiness.
And ready, yep, she's definitely ready. Oh, another ace. That's her 3rd of the night.
Okay. Wolfpack starting to get on another roll. 3 consecutive points to stretch out now to a 6-point advantage. Berto, solid.
Nice, well-placed shot there. Could have powered it in, but saved her energy. And
little finesse and soft touch.
Yep.
9-2. Wolfpack hungry.
Oh, dropped in the corner, right on the line.
It surely was. Tough call down there by the defender to whether to play it or let that go, and it was.
Yeah, teammates need to follow the ball back and let her know all the way to the end. You can change your call.
Haley Berto doing a heck of a job here. Got a little service rally going on consecutive points. Nice all-around game.
Off the block. Got a little confused back there.
Should have played the ball.
Yeah.
And confusion can happen. 11-2. A 6-point run in this sequence, sparked by Berto's serving.
Timeout.
Well, Coach Robert Rhodes wants to chat with his Huskies. He calls a timeout. It comes here with his squad facing an 11-2 deficit, and he's going back to his playbook, as you see there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's got going on in that book.
Well, all coaches have a little black book with, well, we talked earlier in the day about the secrecy.
Yeah, well, not sure what to say about that, but he's being positive and looks like he's teaching, and that's really what you got to keep doing.
I wanted to ask you now for the Sierra College Wolverines and play around the net with your front line, to what extent do you give your frontliners a green light to respond at their discretion, whether they go for a deception, tap, soft thing at the net, or they smack it hard?
We're out to kill the ball.
I love it.
So we say hit, 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 tip. So
okay.
Make everybody get dug in, and then you can go to your shots. It really helps having beach volleyball as well. at Sierra that they've learned how to do a lot of different kinds of shots. So it's really helped our program a lot.
All right. Berto back in action, and her serve generates another point. It's quite a run.
And that's her 5th ace of the match. She has almost as many aces as Cook has kills.
Well, standout performance, certainly.
Whoop. Yeah, ball control's a tough thing right now.
Substitution in the Sheldon lineup as Berto gets back to that service line. She's ready to rock again. Cook powers it, but it's well defended, kept alive. Nice.
Oh.
Point to Sheldon. Looks like Cook may have lost sight of the ball there for a moment.
Yeah, it just looks like she was a little surprised that it was coming to her. Couldn't get her feet to it.
So with that point, the Huskies pull within 10. They're trailing it here 13-3. They'll need to put something together here. Wow. That was a blast. Catherine Poliquin, and she's not that tall, but that was a laser shot.
Yeah, it's a nice play. I think they ran a 2 from the middle. It's a nice shot from the right side player.
14-3.
Nice short serve.
It sure was. Out. Yeah. Ellie Lou just dunked that one in. Little blooper service there. 15-3.
Yeah, it's tough. The ball handling, even the sets are not very consistent, so it's hard for any hitters to get in any kind of rhythm with the sets 15 feet off the net.
Soft touch in between 3 Sheldon players. Point 17. Ellie Lou. Effective serving, hitting the soft spots. Point to Sheldon. Lou was in that danger zone there where you're not sure whether to play it or let it go. That may have been out, but
yeah, it was
far
a nice
be
high
it from
swing.
me. 17-4.
Nice pass.
Outstanding block, but good recovery to keep it alive and salvage the point.
Yeah, that's good coverage right there. Nice serve, nice tough serve there.
Wow, that was a collective celebration there.
So far.
And Swain, just a sophomore.
Yeah, she got a nice tough serve. They're up to 11 aces in this match so far.
At the net, set, smack it hard for a point. That was a kill registered by Catherine Poliquin.
It was a nice set, nice back set by Haley.
20-4. Wolfpack cruising right now. Victorious in game 1, winning that opener 25-11. Out. Service back to Sheldon. Huskies down 20-5.
Little miscommunication there.
Surely was. Well-placed serve. Ace gives him 0.6. Out. So the Huskies making a little noise here after getting backed against the wall, 20-4. They've clicked for 3 straight.
Nice tough serve helps.
Make it 4 straight. They're on a little roll here now, picking up some momentum.
Let them off the hook.
Out. Off the hook.
It's one of our rules. You ace somebody, the next serve is in. Don't ever let them off the hook. Just serve it right to them. The pressure's on them.
So when one of your players has the misfortune of serving into the net and breaking a run, you have a penalty system?
No, no. Just we just have rules, and we work on it. We work on serving situations. I mean, especially like the score is 22-8. Obviously, this game isn't close, but anything from 22 on, the serve is in. So you pick the tier, which we have 3 tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 2 serve is in the middle of the court, and make the other team earn it. Nice dump right there.
It surely was.
She's a quality player. She's heading to Stanislaus State. Be a great get for them. Division II school.
Well, she's the one I would pick. Has a fine all-around game.
Definitely.
Unable to dig that one out was the diving Jalen Swain. Noble effort, but point to Sheldon. Now 23-9. This is where the Huskies are going to really have to dig in and hold that serve for a while to climb back in. Great block. Oh my goodness. Nice net play. Berto again.
Yeah, it's a couple, 3, I think that's 3 dumps she has, 3 kills from the setter. Set point.
24-9. Wolfpack trying to close out game number 2. And looking every bit like a 5th-ranked team in the area, according to the Sacramento Bee.
Finished with another ace.
Another ace. This one is in the book at 25-9. Well, you know, Vera, we have had the pleasure of your company and your expertise 4 consecutive years as our match analyst. And it has been a tremendous asset to our productions, and your awesome success at Sierra College is known far and wide. And I thought we'd go ahead and let our viewers know what a successful program you've been running for so many years there at Sierra College. And 177 wins is testimony, as you've got so many honors. We couldn't list them all, but your ultra high rankings throughout the years have been superlative and ultra impressive. And some folks that are familiar with your coaching may not really have the full background that you were a dynamite player prior to reaching the coaching ranks. And How often do you reflect on that?
Well, I had a great career in college. I played at Cal Poly, and we were ranked nationally. In the top. We were ranked #1 at one time my junior year. But it was great, and I made some really good friends. And my favorite part of Sierra College is all the players that I've gotten to coach, and my relationships with them really stands out more than any of the winning and losing. So it's been
as I understand it, over that time you have coached 3 players who were all-state in that elite caliber, 10 players that were all NorCal regional, and another couple of dozen that were all Big 8 selections.
We have a couple, at least 2 or 3 every year. We've won the conference the last 3 years. So we got a bullseye on our back, but we got a lot of freshmen on our team this year, but they're working really hard. And so far we're 3-0 in conference. We have some pretty tough matches coming up, but it's great. It's always a good challenge.
And you got a little winning streak going here. You
won bit, yeah.
4 or 5 in a row there. Give you some nice momentum. Who's up next for you? Oh, wait. It is Diablo Valley College, isn't it?
Yeah, we play DVC at home tomorrow, and then we have a bye on Friday, so it'll be a nice break. And then next week we got Sac City and Santa Rosa away. Santa Rosa is always tough away, so every match is tough.
And I have to ask you, if I recall correctly, your daughter Taylor. And how's her career going?
She graduated from Cal Poly. She was All-American, and she's now in Germany playing professionally.
All-American.
Yeah.
And
so she's
pro status in Europe.
Pro status. Yep. She's loving it. She played in Slovakia last year and had a great time, and moved up to a much higher level league and is playing in Germany. So she's having a great time.
Boy, that international experience has got to be.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, it has to be.
She's having a good one. So very proud of her.
Well, Coach Lisa Folks there, centered between 2 of her top players, on the verge of making quick work of tonight's match against host Sheldon, but let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. However, a Game 1 victory of 25-11, 25-9 in the one just completed. And we'll see what happens here, and we'll see how much resolve these young Huskies have after dropping the first 2.
It looks like they've made some other subs, some of the soaks as well. We'll see. Getting players opportunity to play, so it's great.
It's crucial. Otherwise, I don't see how they could possibly develop just working out in practice. Game action is the real thing.
Yep, got to play under pressure.
How many do you carry on your roster?
Every year it's different, between 12 and 16. So we have 14 this year. We had 16. A couple have been injured, so they're not able to play. But we have pretty big freshmen. We have 12 freshmen, so pretty big freshman squad.
Here we go. Opening moments at number 3, and just like that, the Wolfpack takes a big bite and goes up 1-0.
That's a freshman, right? She's got a kill. Good for her.
She's coming off an injury, perhaps not quite at full capacity, but playing with distinct authority here for a freshman. Cook with the block. Point to the Wolfpack. Janiyah Jackson. Line drive serve.
Nice serve.
Normally a starter. She sat down the first 2 games, as mentioned, coming off an injury, and Coach Folks with guarded optimism. Concerted effort by the Wolfpack. We have not had any long rallies tonight. That one ranks perhaps among the few that have had multiple returns. Jackson rolling right now, 4 straight with her in the service line.
Nice defense. There you go.
Sheldon hung with it, and it paid off.
She has a nice little swing, number 2, Venus.
So they break service on the board, but down 4-1. Close, but out.
Nice serve. Again, Sheldon just having a tough time controlling any of the serves. Makes it difficult.
Cook has her smash kept alive and set up for that return, but makes a diving salvage of her own. Point to Sheldon.
Good defense. Sheldon's playing better defense. Good celebration on their bench as well. Nice to see.
It is nice to see that they're not losing heart.
Nope.
And sticking with this. That means that probably stems from the coach.
Yeah, that's great.
Jackson keeps it alive and set up eventually. Point production from Jalen Swain, the sophomore. Diminutive Allison Ito at the service line for the pack, and she's into the net.
Lots of missed serves in the net.
Definite momentum busters.
Yep.
Tough luck.
If you're gonna miss, we have good misses, which are just out or just to the sideline, so that people have to make a choice.
But can't do that if it's into the net.
Nope.
Was that another ace?
Yeah, that's Ella's 3rd ace. Good server.
Wolfpack trying to creep away now, 8-3.
Make it 4.
Nice to have you with us this evening for Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. We've changed the pace on you folks and gone inside for some girls volleyball Delta League style. Cook with a smash, but it's handled. Scrappy Huskies hanging in there.
Nice back row attack there. Haley does a good job distributing her offense. Mixes it up well.
Well, they're clicking now.
Well, Ella has reached Haley. They both have 5 aces this match.
Ellen Nurley, one of the senior captain leaders on this squad. How about that? We've seen that at the net power on several occasions now.
Yeah, it's a quick set to the middle. Usually only have one blocker up, so the advantage goes to the hitter.
Baines having a fair share of big moments in tonight's successful push through 2+ games. 12-3 lead at this point in time. It seems that the service aces and the smash kills generate the majority of excitement on any given play, but I take particular pleasure in looking at the great digs and the sweet sets that enable.
Well, the defense definitely sways momentum, so really great scramble plays can really help a team with momentum. Obviously, scoring points is what's going to win the game, and you score points only 3 ways: serving, hitting, and blocking. So the defense is needed, but you're not going to score on it. But it does help your momentum.
Well, Nerley ready to go back to work from the service line. Her squad on top, 12-3. And that smashes into the net. Make it 13-3. Oh boy, their service has really hammered Sheldon tonight.
Yep, that serve receive's tough. But they're staying positive. It's good to see.
At the net, kept alive. Berto gets it to Jackson for the score. 15-3. A noble effort this evening by the underdog Sheldon Huskies under first-year head coach Robert Rhodes, bearing much pressure on his shoulders, coaching freshmen, JV, and varsity.
Yeah, I see a lot of good things. You're just obviously a little overpowered by the offensive.
That's a great description. Jackson definitely showed some power on that blast. 16-3. Good-looking freshman there.
Yeah, that's great. They're going to need her physicality next year, losing Cook.
Jackson had that one rejected. What a defensive play. Point to Sheldon to break the run.
Yeah, that's a great block. Timeout.
That appears to be the case here with the scoreboard showing an 18-4 Wolfpack advantage. The Cosumnes Oaks Ball Club rolled into here with a 17-5 mark after a full weekend of action up the hill at Oak Ridge, where they won 5 out of 6 matches in the Christine Craft Invitational Tournament. As you said earlier in the evening, Vera, very good tournament, strong tournament with tough teams lined up in there.
Yeah. Well, you got to put that in. If you're playing in a league that maybe doesn't have as strong as teams, you got to try to add that to your schedule to keep them improving. Otherwise, you kind of get a lull if you're not playing the top teams day in and day out.
That's one thing I noticed about your scheduling. You don't line up too many cream puffs if you can help it, and you would prefer the stiffer competition, obviously.
Yeah, you got to learn from it. So
back on the attack, the Wolfpack. unable to get to it and chase it down. Point to Sheldon. And service taken away from Swain. (18-5). Good velocity. Handled nice by Nurley, though. Boy, Jackson really is a force and is going to be a force.
Yeah.
And that was a terrific form on that kill try there. That was
yeah, she's got a lot of physicality to her. Good ball control as well. It'll be fun to watch her grow as a player.
19-5, Cosumnes Oaks on top, in charge, and here's Berto back at the service line. She has had a splendid game in all regards this evening. Jackson, oh my goodness.
Fun to watch.
And I would say she's having a ball out there based on that big smile.
Fun to do.
20-5, Berto. Out. (21-5). Point to the pack. Make it 22. Haley Berto, one of the senior leaders on this outfit. Into the net, consecutive points rattled off. 19, 20, 21, and 22, and 23.
Yeah, this third set, I think Cosumnes Oaks really just maintained what they needed to do. I saw a big improvement in their ball control, and unforced errors were gone. That's the difference here.
Into the net. And I believe that was one of Coach Folk's comments during the interview.
She said. Looks like they did a good job doing that.
Berto bloops one over. Early. Jackson smash defended.
Nice rally.
Best of the night.
Jinxed it.
And it comes to an end. As that was into the net. Point to Cosumnes Oaks. And as James Cagney has been known to say, the examination's over. 25-5 in this game 3, a valiant effort by host Sheldon. Too much firepower, too much veteran experience and play from Lisa Folks's
Yeah, I was impressed
Wolfpack.
by Lisa's team. They, like you said, they came back and really controlled their side, and that was the difference in the scores.
So 1 through 3, 25-11, 25-9, 25-5. Stay with us. We're going to take a little break, and when we do return, we'll join Lauren Goodman. She'll be visiting with our players of the game. Stay with us. The verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening at Sheldon High School, where tonight, in a one-sided affair of girls volleyball, the Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack came in determined and demonstrated the qualities of a veteran and experienced program and played clutch volleyball and systematically took out host Sheldon 3 straight, 25-11, 25-9, and 25-5 to capture its 18th victory of the season against just 5 setbacks and solidify their hold in the top 5 of the area rankings and hold their position in second place of the Delta League behind front-running undefeated St. Francis. Tonight's match was one that we could certainly, Vera Nelson, recognize the qualities in Cosumnes Oaks, but also see traces of what could be forming as Sheldon's program emerging from having had some very difficult years in the past decade and under Robert Rhodes, perhaps climbing out of that victory slumber and putting something together that could pose serious competition for Delta League opponents.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to keep working on the fundamentals with the teams from freshmen all the way up and keep growing the program and looking on campus for some little more physical players. Maybe they're on the basketball team. I'm not sure. Not familiar with the other teams here on campus, but that's what I'd be looking for.
Well, there's Robert Rhodes right there with a couple of his entire team circled around him and having a post-game chat. And certainly there are lessons to be learned, but also good points to be reinforced to his young squad, which I'm quite sure he is doing. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll join Lauren Goodman, who will be visiting with our players of the game. Stay with us.
Every year, tens of thousands of young people experience homelessness. If you or someone you know needs help, 1-800-RUNAWAY can provide support and connect you to the right resources. Together, we can end youth homelessness.
Welcome back to Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. We're at Sheldon High this evening, where in girls volleyball, an overpowering effort, collective team effort by the victorious Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack took out the Sheldon Huskies in straight sets. There are our players of the game in tonight's match. Haley Berto, terrific all-around performance. And Venus did an exemplary job for the Huskies. Lauren Goodman is standing by with our players of the game. Goody?
Well, I got a little change tonight because I'm here with the girls for volleyball. Exciting matchup, getting prepared for this. Let me start for the home team. You came in tonight. You guys were really well, kept the energy high. What have you guys been focusing on this season to kind of just keep the morale up?
Okay. We've been focusing a lot on finishing our play for sure and getting our passes in third tempo or second tempo, so that we could finish the play with like a good hit or like just a good, a smart play. Yeah.
Now you guys continue to work hard throughout the game. You guys had tremendous energy, stay focused and positive. What are some things maybe coaches saying or other players on the team to keep you guys that energy so high?
Just have fun. It's volleyball, and you won't be here if like your love for the sport is not there. So just have fun and play smart. So yeah.
Now we're in the midway. What are some things that you want to take away and focus on for the rest of the season so this experience can be one that you remember?
For me, I really just want to have fun. It's senior year last year. Just make it memorable and make have your teammates as your team, or as a family, yeah.
Well, thank you, Venus, so much. You played really well tonight. Keep it up for the rest of the season. Now, for the Wolfpack, I am here with Haley. You guys are on a roll this season, and now you kind of got on a roll yourself with your serves there. What have you been practicing on your own?
I mainly practice on keeping my hands stopped after I toss the ball in the air and just to get a nice float on it.
Now, your team has a lot of energy. You guys seem really close. Tell me something about this team maybe that nobody knows.
In school, we mainly hang out a lot. Like, we're kind of our own group, and we just bond a lot outside of the court.
Now, you're number 2 right now in the Delta, number 5 in the city, though. What are some goals that you and your teammates want to do as far as finishing this last end out and then starting your playoff run?
Although we had an upset against St. Francis, we still want to come back and go number 1 in league.
Well, it seems like you guys are well ready to take that on. Good luck on the rest of the season, Haley. Now I'm here with Coach Lisa. You guys really responded and picked it up. What are some things that you took away from your team in those second and third sets?
Their energy level, we were talking to them about really picking up their talking, not just before, after the plays, but throughout the play, so that they really turned that around.
Coach, now you've been there for 10 seasons now. Tell me something that's unique about this group that hasn't been like the other prior groups.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just how they enter the building. It's just kind of different. They all want to be there early. I don't have to ask them or make sure that they're there to start practice on time. The captains are on the team to get there 30 minutes before so that they can stretch, they can go through their routine, everybody's ready so that when practice starts, it's kind of like the game starts. Like they're just ready to go, hit practice as hard as they can and get as many reps and practice reps as they can to help them prepare for the next match.
Coach, now what do you feel about this team's their ceiling, that you guys are taking some strides to kind of push in the city and be competitive? What do you think this team's potential can be, and what are the level of expectations you think that they can go further into this playoff run?
Before the season started, we met and we talked about season goals, and they definitely want to make it to a section championship match. They also want to make a good deep state run, so they have big goals, and I fully support everything that they put on that goal board, and I think that they're capable of achieving it.
Well, Coach, I enjoyed watching your team today and getting a little bit of volleyball in. Thank you for talking with me. Good luck on the rest of the season. Will.
All right, Goody, thank you very much. Certainly a pleasant persona there with Coach Folks. Despite the victory, definitely the success locked into perspective, eyes on the bigger picture and what can be done to even enhance their status beyond tonight's victories and their hold on second place in the Delta.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that they have their goals, and I wish them best of luck and look forward to watching them.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here tonight from Sheldon High School. That's the way it went. But before we issue a goodbye to you, we want to let you know that next week we will be back on the gridiron. More football coming up on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. And, well, looks like we're going to be going up to your neck of the woods, Vera. We'll have the Del Oro Golden Eagles journeying to El Dorado Hills and Oak Ridge High School, where the Eagles will square off.
Should be a good game.
With Coach Cavaliers, Oak Ridge Trojans, and that will be a doozy. If you decide to go there, you better go early on. And if you don't, then settle in with us, because we'll have a seat reserved for you on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. So that's the way it plays out tonight at Sheldon High School in girls volleyball, in a straight set victory, most impressively fashioned by Cosumnes Oaks, 3-0 over Sheldon. And nice handy work by the Wolfpack to maintain pace with Delta League leading St. Francis. For Vera Nelson and Lauren Goodman and our Game Director Nick Dunn. I'm Will James. We thank you for joining us tonight, and as always, look forward to the next occasion when we can cross your path. So long, everyone.
From Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. Major underwriting support this season for Hometown Sports Game of the Week on Access Sacramento is provided by the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission. Access Sacramento also thanks Sharif Jewelers, fine jewelers since 1932. Sharif Jewelers, a longtime sponsor of community television. And Folsom Lake Honda, a proud sponsor of Access Sacramento's Hometown TV and Game of the Week, and a partner in our community, Folsom Lake Honda.